It's the year 1066. England is in turmoil. King Edward the Confessor has died without an heir, and the throne is up for grabs. Three men emerge as contenders: Harold Godwinson, the powerful English noble; Harold Hardrada, the Viking king of Norway; and William, Duke of Normandy, a determined ruler with his eyes set on England. England was one of the wealthiest kingdoms in Europe, and whoever controlled its throne would have immense power. According to legend, King Edward had once promised William the throne. But that promise was shattered when Harold Godwinson was crowned. William felt betrayed and knew his destiny would only be fulfilled by force. Gathering his most loyal knights, William vowed to take what he believed was rightfully his. William began amassing an army unlike anything Normandy had ever seen. Knights, archers, and cavalry from across Europe joined him, drawn by promises of land and riches. Over 700 ships were built, loaded with supplies, horses, and warriors ready to risk their lives for glory. But the English Channel stood in William's way. For weeks, storms raged, trapping the fleet on the coast. As time slipped away, tension grew. Whispers of divine disfavor spread among the troops. Meanwhile, Harold Godwinson faced an unexpected threat in the north. Harold Hardrada's Viking army had invaded, forcing Harold to march hundreds of miles. At Stamford Bridge, Harold's exhausted forces clashed with the Vikings in a brutal, bloody fight that left thousands dead. But as Harold celebrated victory, the winds changed, and William's fleet set sail for England. William's fleet arrived on England's shores at Pevensey. The sight of the Norman ships stretched across the horizon sent shockwaves through the English coast. William wasted no time. His soldiers constructed makeshift forts and began raiding the countryside to gather supplies and draw Harold southward. Harold, still reeling from the northern campaign, force-marched his army to confront the invaders. On October 14, 1066, the two armies met near Hastings. Harold's men, tired but resolute, formed a solid shield wall on Senlac Hill. They were determined to defend their homeland against this foreign threat. The battle began at dawn, with William's archers sending volleys of arrows into the English lines, but the shield wall held strong. Again and again, Norman cavalry charged, only to be repelled by the disciplined English soldiers. Frustration mounted as William saw his forces faltering. That's when he made a bold decision, a feigned retreat. He ordered his troops to pull back, pretending to flee in panic. The English, thinking victory was within their grasp, broke formation to pursue. But it was a trap. The Normans turned on the pursuing English, surrounding them and cutting them down. As the day wore on, chaos reigned on the battlefield. Arrows filled the air, and swords clashed as both sides fought desperately. In the midst of it all, King Harold stood firm, rallying his men. But then came the fatal blow. An arrow struck him in the eye, according to legend. With Harold's death, the English resistance crumbled. The once solid shield wall shattered and the Normans surged forward. By nightfall, the field was littered with the fallen. William had won. But victory at Hastings was just the beginning for William. The English nobility refused to submit, and rebellions erupted across the kingdom. But William was relentless. He led his forces from town to town, quelling uprisings and fortifying his rule by building castles, towering symbols of Norman power. The English had never seen anything like it. These fortresses cast long shadows over the landscape, a constant reminder of who now held power. On Christmas Day, 1066, William was crowned King of England at Westminster Abbey. But even this moment of triumph was marked by tension. As Norman soldiers misunderstood the cheers of the crowd for rebellion, they set parts of the city on fire in panic. It was a chaotic coronation that perfectly symbolized William's turbulent rise to power. But William's conquest wasn't just about the throne. It was about transforming England. The old Anglo-Saxon nobility was replaced with Norman lords loyal to William. The English language began to change, blending with French, laying the foundations for modern English. William's most ambitious project, the Domesday Book, was a meticulous survey of all the land and resources in England. It was his way of controlling his new kingdom, ensuring that no one could challenge his rule. By the time of his death in 1087, William had reshaped England in his image. The castles, the laws, even the very way people spoke and lived, all bore the mark of the Norman conqueror. And that's how William, Duke of Normandy, became William the Conqueror, the man who forever changed the course of English history. If you were captivated by this tale of strategy, betrayal, and conquest, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into history's most dramatic moments. We've got plenty more stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.